So our controller is supposed to communicate with our view, but we need some way to enable this communication. We need something to let the controller actually talk to the view. And the way that we do this is with a special object called scope. And scope is this special object provided by Angular that enables this communication, and it's thought of as the glue between the controller and the view. So when we talked about MVC, we said that the model is kind of the piece that communicates with a backend and the application. The model will pass data off to the controller, which then goes to the view. Model is used in another sense really in Angular, so we've got to think of things a little bit differently. And when we talk about models in Angular, for the most part we're talking about the data model. And the data model is an object that's got properties and values which represent some data. And the special scope object is what allows the data model to be shared between the view and the controller. So let's see how this works out. Over here in our controller, what we're going to do is what's called inject the scope object. And to inject it, we will just put it in as a parameter to our anonymous function. We're going to talk about dependency injection in the next video, but just know that this is how we inject things. We put them in as parameters to the anonymous function associated with the controller. And then if we wanted to put out a message that say has our name, we could do this. We could say scope dot name equals Ryan. And that's all we need to do to put something on scope. We just have to put a property on the scope object and then assign it a value. All right, so let's see how this works out over in the view. Let's head back over to our view, which is our index.html file, and let's put in an h1 tag. And then within here, we are going to template out the name property that we've assigned to scope over here in our controller. And just before going too much further, I've realized that I've got to put in a reference to that script. So this is going to be components and classifieds controller.js. All right, so if everything worked out, we should now be seeing the name that we've assigned as a value to that property. So let's head back over, and there it is showing up. So once again, scope is this special object that's available to us in our controllers, and it's the glue between our controller and our view, and it allows us to communicate data back and forth. Another of Angular's features that's associated with the data model is two-way data binding. And so in the next video, we'll take a look at how that works.